Who's got the next question?
Even if it's in early talking stage, is there any plans for new KISS music or U.S. tour?
Yes. Well, I don't know about new music. I know we, there's still, I think that new DVD from the last tour is almost done. I saw the artwork the other day. Tommy had it because he's been kind of putting it together, doing that production side of it. I know Tommy, Doc's wanted us to go in and do some new stuff, and I know Tommy's, but Paul's got to finish his solo record first, which I don't know how far along that is. I heard 4 songs, and I know he was in the studio the other day, again, doing more stuff, so I'm assuming in the next couple months he should be done, and I think he needs to get that done. Oh, that's great. All right, nuts for your kid. He needs to get that done first. I know that's, he wants to get that taken care of, and then we'll see. I mean, I think it would be a good idea to at least do something new. I mean, at this point, I think it'd be great to just go in and just play some stuff, make it real casual and easy, and just rock and roll, straight ahead, basic stuff. Just like the old style, the old way KISS used to do.
Style.
Yeah, but even just straight ahead, like Dress to Kill or something, that style, just straight ahead rock and roll, a little bit of that Chuck Berry influence. I love that old style KISS stuff.
Hi, Eric.
In regards to touring, like I mentioned earlier, I know that they were talking about trying to go to Europe maybe in the fall, but we'll see. In regards to the U.S., I don't know. I mean, if they can put, they're always open to anything, but it's got to be the right package and everything that works for everybody, It is a business. I know everyone hates hearing that, but it's true, They're not just going to go out and play for the hell of it. Not at this point in their career, They got to play for a reason,
New music.
Hi, Eric.
I do.
I have a question about Eric Carr. I don't want to bring up any sad memories, but can you tell me about that time period where you were asked to step in?
I mean, I don't know any more other than my perspective was they asked me to play on originally God Gave Rock and Roll to You, and I did it, and then Eric did the video because he was still in the band, and then they asked me to record with them and for Revenge, which I did. Originally I was only supposed to play on half the record. They were going to have another guy play on it.
Oh, really?
And I do know that they tried rehearsing with, they tried doing stuff with Eric a couple of times at that point before I ever came in.
So you didn't know him very
well? And a couple other drummers. They actually tried working with a couple other drummers on the Revenge stuff before they called me to come in, and because I already had done God Gave Rock and Roll to You, but I was on tour with Alice, and they had worked with Ainsley Dunbar and some other studio drummer, and then Eric a couple of times, and then Paul called me up and just said, "Hey, Eric, we need help to work on this record." I didn't know a lot of that, what was going on because I wasn't around.
That's what I was going to ask.
I barely knew those guys then. I knew Paul because I played in a solo tour. I'd only met Bruce and Gene just briefly. I hardly knew them, And then when Eric Carr passed away, I mean, I knew that Eric was sick, and I knew there was talk about, they weren't sure what was going to happen with him, and so I kind of knew that there was probably a chance that they might at some point ask me to help out, either fill in or maybe tour or something. So I knew that was because Bob Ezra had mentioned to me that was a possibility.
Oh, really.
I only met Eric twice, but a couple times I met him, he was a nice guy. I mean, I know everyone that knew him a lot better always says great things what a great guy was, but I didn't really know him, so I don't have a real much to draw upon from my experience with him, other than, hey, how you doing?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Eric.
You got to turn that on the bottom.
Go ahead, turn on. Speak loudly.
Hi, Eric.
Turn on.
Huh?
There we go. There you go.
Hey, Eric, do you have any stuff on Paul Stanley's new solo?
Did I play on it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't play on it. Bruce has played bass on some songs, I know. But he's been using studio musicians. The stuff that I heard was really good, but it's a different style than what people might probably expect from Paul. In the sense of, it's not like, it doesn't sound like KISS.
More ballad type of stuff? Or?
Well, I don't want to say more ballad, but it's just a different style. I mean, you have to hear it for yourself and form your own opinion. I mean, as to be expected, it's very well written, very well performed material, But it's done with he wrote with guys that wrote a lot of, professional songwriters and used all, professional, those kind of studio musician guys, and it's that kind of approach, It's really more song-oriented rather than, about the rock and roll playing and all that kind of style, or it's not scrappy and heavy. It's good. I mean, of the 4 songs I heard, I thought 2 were real good, that I really liked. I mean, Paul's not going to make something bad, it's just, remember his last solo record?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I thought that was really good,
Is it better than Jane's solo album?
Well, you guys vote. I can't make any opinions because then, I'm
Might get
That's
back.
that puts me in an awkward position. I mean, I did play a Gene solo record, which I'm kind of sorry to say. But, no. Hey, look, you know something? If Bruce asked me to play on this record, or any of those guys asked me to play on a song, whether I particularly like the song or the music, it doesn't matter. Bullshit! Bullshit! Like that? Okay. I expect Paul's record to be a much more focused, cohesive type of record than Gene. Gene did what he usually did. It's all different eclectic stuff, and he did what he wanted to do. It's to be expected. Yep.
Hi Eric, I had a question about the last tour and how it could affect something else. It's when in Australia when you played the Kiss in Your Face show, the small theater show.
Yeah, we did too.
Yes. Is there ever a chance that that sort of thing could happen in the United States?
Well, you know something? You never know. I know that Doc really liked that idea. You know, there was one time talk about there was talk about trying to do that on the last tour, when they were trying to put the schedule together about maybe trying to pick only major cities, like maybe New York or, Detroit or something like that, major cities, squeeze in a special gigs like that. But we were playing 5 nights a week as it was, and with all the travel, there was no way to make it work. So that's not, I wouldn't say that's ruled out. Just like I wouldn't be surprised again if at some point they might do some kind of KISS Expo convention things, official ones like they did before in some form. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of ideas. It's just what makes sense logistically, financially, and otherwise. There's a lot of factors that come into play. I mean, you got to remember, and I don't mean this in a bad way, when you have people that are very, very wealthy, it's hard to get people motivated to want to go out and work and do things, like that all the time when they don't have to and don't need to. I mean, they've been doing it for over 30 years. They could have retired a long time ago if they wanted to. But they still have some drive and passion. I mean, I know they like playing. They still like performing and playing, just maybe not as much or as often. I'm sorry? Did I like those theater shows? Oh, they were awesome because we played a lot of cool old songs. I mean, I love the first 3 KISS records. And I still like, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, some of those in Love Gun. But I really like the first 3 records, that early stuff of KISS. Because that's the stuff that I grew up and was influenced by. So that only makes sense. I mean, everyone has, when you have a band that's been around for over 30 years, everyone has their era. There's some people, believe it or not, that Asylum is the first album they ever bought, or Revenge is the era they grew up with, a non-makeup KISS. I know it's hard to believe for a lot of people, but there are a lot of people that's their era of KISS. My era of KISS was those first 3 records, up to Alive. And then by the time I got to be about 18, I started seeing little kids and liking KISS, and moms and dads going from when you're an 18, 19-year-old guy, you're going, that's not cool, little kids and moms at a show. That's that's when you were a rebellious teen, you don't want moms and dads and kids around. You just don't think it's cool. Now, I think it's amazing it's cool that parents come with their little kids, because I'm old enough to understand and appreciate it. But when you're ask any teenager,
Yeah, I was wondering.
You got my check?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. How should I
Make it out?
Yeah.
As many digits and zeros as you can have on it.
I also need to know what time Stefan needs to be at the airport tomorrow.
Stefan, your flight's at 8, so I think you probably have to leave about 6:30, get there by 7. You checking bags? All right. What's your name? Gary. Oh, poor Stefan. Stefan, you'll be all right. John will carry you. You guys will be making a nice couple. And we also want to thank John for coming out. John came out as a last-minute addition. And John's going to get up and sing with us, too, if you guys like. So we can folks him up there. I guess we're going to do a couple more questions, then we can kind of get our shit together so we can play. I think you guys would rather hear us play than me talk, I imagine.
Nah, it's all right.
Oh, keep talking, Stefan. Stefan got paid already. I knew that was coming next. You beat me to the punch. All right, go ahead. No more questions? I can't believe there's no more questions. Not at a KISS crowd? Over there, Keith Terrier. I am my guy. Where's Eric Dover, by the way? Stefan's time to hunt Eric Dover down.
I'm going right now.
You might want to find Eric Dover and tell him it's about standby time. Last time we did an expo with Eric Dover, literally he was always around 2 minutes before we get ready to play MIA, and we couldn't find him anywhere. Oh, really? Oh, how unusual.
The Revenge era and now when you're wearing the makeup, which one do you prefer musically to play live?
Musically, but well, it's two different things. It's apples and oranges. I mean, it's both fruit, but these are still both Kiss, but it's different kinds of Kiss. I mean, obviously, not having to deal with makeup's a lot easier because it's so time-consuming. But then doing it is cool, you know. So it's a lot of fun. Hey, Gene, what's happening? I like both, but I mean, obviously, either one's fine with me. I mean, I'd be fine with either. I'd be fine doing either or. I mean, ultimately, it's whatever. The majority rules. So if the most of the fans would, after a while, it got to be where most of the fans didn't want the band to have makeup on. I'm not saying it's going to go that way. I kind of doubt it, but you never know. With Kiss, nothing would surprise me. I mean, obviously it was a different kind of vibe back then. I was playing a lot more busy, and it was, now it's a lot more straight ahead and simple to do, but it's a lot harder because it's a lot more work. It's a lot more responsibility wearing the makeup. But it's kind of cool sometimes. It is a kind of a cool, special feeling putting on that stuff. I like to put the boots on even though I don't play in the boots, but I like to put them on and run around like a little kid, because when I was a kid, I used to wear platform shoes in high school all the time, so it reminds me of that. I mean, a lot of people that were worried, are you going to be able to do that? I'm like, I wore platform shoes every day in high school. I used to run up and down 3 flights of stairs to all my classes. They weren't that high, but actually the pair I had for this tour I said make them the same as Paul's, because his are 7 inches, just like the song Do You Love Me?
Yep.
And
how tall did it make you?
I'm sorry?
How tall did it make you?
They make me over 6 feet tall. They make me 6'1", because I'm 5'6". So do the math. Can you count? Can you count past that? Are you a drummer?
That's
Oh, good, then you're okay. You wouldn't be able to count past
No, I
that.
can't.
You would. Drummers can't count past 4. What do you got? Are you a drummer? Yeah. Oh, so am I. Hey, I'm just admitting it. What do you got, brother?
Your signature snare drum, which I gotta say is one of the best sounding snares I've ever heard.
Thank you.
How much did the design go into that? I mean, with the 3 air holes, the thick shell. I mean, where did that concept come from? Because
it's kind of both of us, Pearl and myself. Originally it came about, they had made me a snare drum for a drum kit that I really liked a lot, and I kept saying, this is my favorite snare drum, and so then they kind of said, we want to do a signature snare for you, and they came up with that and just made it even thicker, but they wanted to let the drum breathe a little bit. And a lot of guys, I mean, surprisingly, a lot of younger bands, guys, Joey Jordison from Slipknot came up to me and said, oh, I love your snare drum, I used it on all the demos for the last record. I don't know if he used it on the record because I haven't talked to him since, but when they were doing their demos, he said that Rick Rubin, the producer, loved the snare drum, and the drummer in Murder Dolls, he uses the drum live too. He told me, oh, I love this drum. So, I've gotten good feedback from guys that actually, pro players that use it. And they make great stuff. I just went to Nashville last week and did some photo sessions for the new drums, and their new stuff's amazing. They have this new line of drums called Reference Series, and it's just amazing, and they're a great company. I mean, they've been totally cool to me, and they make the greatest stuff, and they sent this kit out here, which is brand new, just for this. I mean, this is a lower line kit, an export kit, but I wanted it to look kind of like, I had a chrome kit on the last tour, so I said I should maybe use something to kind of look like what I had. Then your son, he has a drum kit, snare of mine. Does he have one of my snare drums? Jason, you got one of mine? You like it? Yeah. Not bad? Did you guys meet Jason? Jason, come up here. Yeah. Jason's a little drummer boy from Detroit. Jason Hartman's Jr. Jason plays drums, and he did his own CD and his own record, and he's kind of making a little name for himself in the Detroit area and around. And I wish we could get you up to play, but I don't know if you know any of the songs that those guys know. Probably not some of the same songs, but maybe you know Kiss. You don't know any Kiss songs, do you?
He knows Cooper, yeah.
They don't know. Well, Stephen doesn't know any. What Alice Cooper song you know? You like School's Out or anything? Or does he know School's Out, or what song? 18. You know 18? Maybe you can play 18 with Eric and Steph, and I'll ask them if they know it. Because if they know it, maybe they'll let you play. Because I don't know if Eric sings it. You got to do something that they all know together.
Oh man.
Okay, maybe we'll try. All right. Good, you guys, check out Jason's table over there if you get a chance, okay? All right, Jason, take care, man. What do you got?
Do you ever think that KISS will get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Do I think they ever, I mean, well, let's just put it this way. A lot of these bands that get in there, I mean, you don't vote, do you? I don't get to vote. We don't get to vote. I mean, I wish they would do it more like the NBA All-Star game. Let people vote for a certain amount, and then let, you know, the people that are on their panel vote for a certain amount of people in every year. You know, they should do like a write-in internet thing. Let people pick who they want, who they think deserves it, not some stuffy guy who doesn't. I mean, like, for example, Jan Wenner from Rolling Stone magazine, who's a big, one of the main people on the voting staff, he doesn't like KISS. I mean, think about this. In the over 30 plus years of KISS's history, they've never, ever once been on the cover of Rolling Stone. They've been on every other kind of magazine, just about, of a rock magazine, never Rolling Stone. Why? Because Jan Wenner doesn't like KISS. And because he's never liked them, he's biased, and he'll never vote them in. You know, so why isn't Alice Cooper in the Rock and Roll of Fame? You know, I mean, a guy he's really been influential to all these Marilyn Manson, KISS, Motley Crue, all these bands that have come after Alice. He's influenced all those bands. He's not in there. So, but you'll have these bands that you know, some. I mean, there's a lot of bands that are very deserving and have gotten in there and rightfully so. But there's a lot of stuff that you kind of go, well, that's cool, but why aren't these other bands that have been really big and very influential, why are they not recognized? So, it's a very biased thing, you know?
That's it.
Okay, one more question, then we have to kind of get ourselves together here and make some noise.
I was just wondering if you plan on playing with Alice this year, and also just kind of curious what would happen if either tours or shows clash somehow.
Well, I'm not playing with Alice, because when I went to go back to play with KISS last year, you know, Alice still went on tour and he got a different drummer, so now he has a different band. And in fact, Alice's band changes all the time. I've been in and out of Alice's band 3 times throughout my career, so right now I'm not playing with him, but that doesn't mean that I may not again in the future. I have had some things overlap, like I went to fill in '98. Jimmy DeGrasso was playing drums with him. He replaced me when I joined KISS the first time, and then he went to go play with Megadeth, and when they first asked me, hey, can you fill in for Jimmy? They said, well, it's still Jimmy's gig because he's only filling in, and so I went and did only some of the shows with Alice, and then I left partway through to go play with Brian May. And then they were kind of like, well, why are you leaving? Why, you know, I said, well, hey, you told me it was only temporary, so I already committed to this other work, and I've had it over, you know, it's happened before. You know, as long as you're straight up to people and tell them ahead of time, you know. What I found is say yes to everything and work it out later. You know, that's all you can do. Because when you try to tell everybody, okay, well, I may be able to do this, but I may have to do this on this date, you'll end up never working. You know, so you just gotta take the work, do it, and then if something else comes up, deal with it as it happens. You know.
That's good philosophy.
That's it. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming. You guys want to take a few minutes? You know, take a break, whatever. And we're going to go and get ourselves together, and then we'll make some noise, okay? And just remember, for those of you who are coming back tomorrow, in case you were thinking about it, John won't be here, but John will be here tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow, and then Bruce, of course, will be flying in. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.